Hello. Hi. Welcome. Um, God bless you. I want to talk about a few things, honestly. My vibe is I'm liking it. It's so different and I feel a little liberated. My hair, these are clip-ins. I got them from the beauty supply store. I like clip-ins. They're not new to me, and I like trying different, like, yeah. Anyway, the headband beauty supply store as well. The stethoscope is near and dear, honey. Okay, when I say the doctor is in, she's been here before I even had the title of doctor. I designed her like, well, hold on. Littman, this is a Littman stethoscope. I mean, like, I decorated her. I'm not done. This isn't the most practical because honestly, I like to sanitize my stethoscopes frequently. And so, fomites, we want to reduce fomites, okay? That doesn't mean they can't be pretty. Anyway, um, yeah, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. First, let me get Jesus on the telephone because on it, like, boy, I have my basket. So I have my picnic basket and yeah, yes, I have earphones in. That doesn't mean I cannot talk to God like this. God, I just want to take a moment to say thanks for everything. And those people, there's people who I think you should look out for and protect. The ones that are calling demons into their bedrooms. Yeah, yeah, they don't want that. Okay, so I love you and toodles. So yeah, sometimes I keep the line open because I don't want to hang up. Come on now. Booski, listen, in the songs lately, people been like, them want mama transform, and I get that, like, boo, I get it. Then it's like, first you're calling down dunceness and you're calling down mad, like head sick, head chip, and then now you're calling down, God forbid, you're calling down the demons, like, baby, no thank you. I rebuke that in the name of God. Listen, I wanted to mention dating. I haven't really spoken about that. And like, come on, we were designed to date, like, as human beings. So I think that obviously it's a choice. If you don't want to date, you're not interested in that, no games, you're not into the, leave it alone, don't do it. um I was just remembering experiences where basically, Lucy, hi, welcome back. Yeah, you gonna take your time and pass call. Hmm. Him gets up, nerves. Yeah, don't knock down. If don't knock it down again. They say things come in threes. Listen, I hope he doesn't knock it down again. The camera stand. Anyways, I've dated guys who Lucy, and please, I hope you're not the third baby. I'm about to pause this because let me just I can't take the mashup thing. Boy, you see? What if all my skirt is a vibe. Like I like how we have two different personalities, you know. Come on. And then the patchwork, it's been trending lately. There's things there that I can decipher and things that I can't. However, the vibe is still it's still a vibe with this girl. Listen, so okay, I was talking about dating. There's a few things I want to kind of mention, and I be mentioning random things. I know the protractor because I don't want to forget, and I don't want to get into the story, and then I don't want to get into the story and forget. I enjoyed using these in school, and they're such a peculiar tool yet very handy. And so I just wanted to show you. Then, and it's nice because it also has measurements. So, I mean, innately, the protractor is for like angles and things like that. Um, However, and drawing like shapes and lines in certain angles and things. However, this one has measurements in like, for example, inches and centimeter. And so like if you're determining the diameter of your circle, for example, or your perimeter or whatever, not your perimeter, sorry, your radius of your circle or something, then that will help you out. Anyways, random things. And then to continue the random things, all right, let me start on the dating thing. Cause like, so a lot of the conversation lately is guys with money. Like people want to date somebody. Okay, obviously I get it. Like because if you're going somewhere or anything you're doing, you may end up having to spend money, and so if you have an abundant resource or whatever, then it would seem more desirable. However, it's such a sneaky way that money can become an idol when you're dating somebody. So all right, I've I've dated different cultures, ethnicities, all right, um, personalities, backgrounds. Calm down, all right. Yes, though, yes, I have dated, you know, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, like, so. Mr. Baby, when you type it like me. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, it's like that doesn't matter. There's stuff that's mentioned in the Bible about, for example, if I'm not mistaken, it was Abraham that was sending his son Isaac to get a wife. And if it's not Isaac, it was Isaac sending Jacob, his son, to get a wife. And he didn't want his son to get a wife from like a certain place. He wanted his son to get, mind you, he wasn't gonna send his son there in person himself. Yet he wanted his son to have a partner from a certain place. And so, all right, that's a whole other ball game. Um, However, like where it concerns money and things like that, like I've dated guys that, and then you have other like Moses. All right, rev the bike, vroom vroom. There's Moses who was taken to a foreign, like who was in a foreign land, and he found his wife there. And so yeah, you just never know. Um, However, I've dated guys who the the boy didn't even pick up $1 to pay for the food, which literally costed $1, BTW. Um, and him never pauperized. I don't know him. I don't know him pocket. However, I knew enough to know that. I've dated where I paid for the whole meal, the whole dinner. After the boy, he pursued me, before and after the event, persistently. And I've also dated where, baby, Shani, what Shani say? Enough money spent on my body. That's what she say in her song Dolly. Tell a girl fee. Right. So, and I'm not here to sow discord. So, like, I think each of those situations also didn't make or break the person. It wasn't a deal breaker because there's something called grace, and it's nice, especially when it's given. Um, I'm not saying you're gonna fly around like a bat, like you don't know what's going on. Um, by the way, those people that love call themselves dunce and them something, you could be the valedictorian, baby. Don't call yourself no dunce. The tongue is hard to tame. The tongue cannot be tamed unless God does that. So that's why you should ask him to make you mindful of the things that you're saying, because things can unfortunately take a turn. God forbid. Yeah, and like, so two things, because I have my cookies and I have my lollipop, and both instances. So the first one, the cookies, I went into the bodega and I asked this guy to pass me Famous Amos chocolate chip cookies. They're delish, a classic. And he passed me Sweet Serenity instead. I never had them before. I enjoyed them. And so I'm so thankful for the divine mistake. I just also realized that some people don't pay attention. I don't know his hearing capabilities, so I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna leave that there. The lollipop, I said blue multiple times. I'm a blue lollipop girl. And he gave me a red one. And I like the red ones. I do. I just would have liked that he gave me. I would have liked him to give me what I asked for. Um, yo, I have had money spent on me and I didn't ask for it. I needed it. I didn't realize I needed it at the time. I was actually fighting it. Anyways, I got the money, and rather, let's say the money was spent, and Cole, oh my gosh, someone else saw Cole and immediately was like, Greyhound. And I was like, oh my gosh, same. He looks like a greyhound. There's whippets. They're like, all right, so like with schnauzers, how you have like giant, standard, miniature. With poodles, how you have standard, miniature, toy. You have um, even like with like bully breeds, you have XL and stuff like that. But with like greyhounds, for example, you have like a greyhound. Then you have a medium-sized dog that looks like a greyhound called a whippet, and then you have a smaller version called an Italian greyhound. Um, he's at the size where he could be like a whippet. He doesn't look like a whippet though. He looks like a greyhound. But then he also has a nose that looks like a bull terrier. And then there's sometimes when I feel like he looks like a Basenji. So, and then on his paperwork, they said he looks like a pity, but he doesn't have like, he's not like stocky like a pity. However, that doesn't mean he can't be mixed with one. I just think genetics is so interesting. Like, actually, when I was in college, my neighbor is jamming right now. I hope, on if God forbid, I get copyrighted. Like, if it's not meant to be, I don't want a copyright. Sometimes the copyright don't really seem to affect your video negatively. However, it's like a stamp somebody's putting on your stuff that you don't know the you don't you just on it's it there it presents uncertainty on a plateau. No games. Look, um I was talking about something. I'm gonna pause the video because yeah, I don't want to forget my points. Cool. Here, just in case you have anything to say. I Hey, I'm back. I'm gonna open the blinds because it's just a little bit, it's getting dark. So there's not much of a scenic view. Well, it depends on what you would find scenic. I like um I like the vibe. I'm not complaining. Anyway, so we were, I think, yeah, we were kind of geeking out a little bit. in terms of breeds, dog breeds. And then I was also, oh my gosh, the music is so loud. It kind of sounds muffled though, so it probably wouldn't be a problem. Copywriting is something else we were discussing briefly. But yeah, the money was spent on me and I flipped it like more than tenfold in less than a year, for reference. And so you like, and the way how you can look at it is physical and in terms of investing it in experiences, assets and experiences. And now I'm not gonna try to really draw a direct comparison. However, there is a story in the Bible, like a parable that Jesus tells about a man who gives coins to his workers. He gave one man, because he was going away, he gave one man one coin, he gave another man two coins, and he gave the third man five coins. Upon his return, the man who he gave five coins doubled it to 10. The one who he gave two coins doubled it to four. And then the one who he gave one coin, he buried the coin, and because basically he was thinking he's putting it for safekeeping, and you know gave the man back his money, and the man was not pleased that his money did not return to him in a more fruitful manner. um if we want to elaborate why, maybe like if we think about inflation, for example, if you have a dollar today, depending on how the economy is moving, if the dollar, I rebuke the devil in the mighty name of Jesus, because yo, like I'm vibing with the music, I'm just like this message. He was quiet all along. Anyway, so that dollar is not gonna be valued the same in an an environment that's suffering from inflation or affected by inflation, because with inflation something gets bigger, so that means the prices of everything else is getting bigger, the value of other things is increasing. So while that dollar, yes, it's a dollar, what used to cost a dollar doesn't cost a dollar anymore. So he might be upset because of that. Now, if somebody double your money, you might be able to afford what doesn't cost a dollar anymore, or what doesn't cost $2 anymore. If it costs $3.50, you have $4. Boom. So yeah. Now, some people may not even realize that they can be fruitful in certain ways that are not just monetary. You can take your money and invest in yourself. So that could look like an education. For example, that could look like um, going to shop a back to school sale. Um, or if you're getting a new job, like I did my lashes just now for the first time this way, and I like it. um yeah, like it could look like getting yourself a new pair of shoes to prepare for training. When I did like musical theater and ballet, we'd have to get certain shoes and stuff like that. So that's how we invest in yourself, for example, you know. Um, anyway, you could also invest in yourself in a more leisurely manner. So you could take your money and book a vacation. A vacation isn't always gonna be like fantabulous. Sometimes it's just a break, you know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't have to cost a lot. Explore your environment, explore your world from right where you're sitting. You know, in this age where we have phones that are computers that can literally look up and give you information within nanoseconds, like, you know. Anyways, so I don't think I've dated in vain. You know, I think I've gathered experiences, and God has really shown me a lot of it. Like he's decoded a lot of my experiences. There's something else I wanted to mention. Oh my goodness. Lord, if it doesn't come up, I just want to say like we could probably, I guess we'll close out. You know, I love you. Put God first and love him, love God, love always. And I hope you have a blessed day. um the way how God has shown me he is real is just, and it's multiple different times, different ways, different, and it could be in different moods, and I'm amazed every time, every time. Yeah. Okay. Bye. So now calm down. Love you.